This one is dedicated to my dad, and a must-see for anyone who loves Brighton Terriers. Well, you knew it would be coming, and here it is, the first video in the series featuring Stroudley Terriers. These wonderful little locomotives were very special to my dad, and of course me. I've got a good number of the older Daypole and Hornby models to show you at another time, but for now, let's look at the most recent releases in my collection from Hornby. Here is a very well known little locomotive, number 55 Stepney by Hornby, arriving with me in June 2019. She was built on the 21st of December 1875, rebuilt to A1X in October 1912, and eventually sold for £750 to the Bluebell Railway on the 17th of May 1960. She's still there now, and was made more famous when the Thomas the Tank Engine stories specifically named her Stepney the Bluebell Engine. She's seen here having departed from the depot with a lovely train of 4- and 6-wheel coaches from Hattons, with a full 6-wheel brake at the rear. Absolutely beautiful, which is why I allowed the delightful intro music to play longer than normal. Talking of sound, I've amplified the film soundtrack, but these little engines are so super quiet. Number 48 Leadenhall, made by Hornby, arrived on the 14th of February 2021, a Valentine's gift from Cheryl. She was built at Brighton in December 1876 and was allocated to New Cross from the 9th of December that year. The locomotive was then transferred to Eastbourne for the Hailsham and Lewis local services in the 1880s. She was moved to Portsmouth in 1890, where she worked the East South Sea and Hayling Island branch line services until August 1901. The Terriers were becoming too small for the demands placed upon them, and in January 1899 it was agreed to reduce their numbers to just 15 over the next 3 years. This was to be done by breaking up any loco needing major repair work, such as boiler or firebox work. In 1901, despite a healthy second-hand market, no purchasers could be found for 11 Terriers, so they went for scrap at just £125 each at George Cohen and Sons in Redhill. Thus, with her 10 sisters, Leadenhall was scrapped and became one of the very short-lived Terriers with just 25 years service life. She's seen here with another rake of Hattons, London, Brighton and South Coast 4- and 6-wheel coaches, complete with lighting. Again, we get a chance to take a ride with her. Now let's return our attention to Stepney, who has a special passenger duty to perform. She has 3 Hornby 4-wheel Isle of Wight coaches, and these are to be taken to the train ferry for transfer for services on the island. We see Leadenhall passing with another passenger service. Later still, the 2 engines are coupled together and make their way to the yard to pick up a moderate-sized goods train. Probably there is a steep downhill gradient en route requiring the brakes of both locomotives, because this train is not beyond the capabilities of a single Terrier. Talking about the train, while I've selected stock that meets the Railway Clearinghouse markings with regards to date range, it has to be admitted that most of this is 1920 stock, but I won't tell if you don't. Now sit back and enjoy this rare double-headed terrier sequence and get ready for more terrier goodness just about to come. Okay, let's move on in terrier livery. Next we have a locomotive that you will probably recognise because she's been appearing in my video outro clips for a number of years. Again from Hornby from 2020, number 735 in London South Western livery. Was one of two sold by the London Brighton and South Coast Railway to the London South Western Railway for £500 in March 1903, along with number 46 Newington, for use on the Lyme Regis branch when it opened. She was built 5th of August 1874 as number 68 Clapham. However, despite being capable little engines, the layout of the Lyme Regis track did not suit them, and they were replaced by the equally famous Adams radial tanks. There's a link top right of this video now to see more about this. 735 is seen here with an attractive London South Western goods train. I have to say the London South Western livery looks good on her. .735 passes the well-stocked yard, hinting at things to come. Finally we get a chance to get up close and personal with 735. Hold on tight now. And now, lucky us, goods trains pass, and we find ourselves heading for the South Eastern and Chatham Railway with Terrier number 751 on the other goods train. Last we have another recent Hornby offering, this time Terrier 751 in South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery. Built February 1876 as number 54 Wadden and sold to the Sheppey Light Railway in 1904 and became 751 on the South Eastern and Chatham Railway. She came back to the Southern in 1923, then to departmental stock. By 1932 she was Lancing Carriage Works number 680. She was withdrawn on the 31st of May 1962 and presented to the Canada Railway Historical Association and is therefore preserved. Again, this livery looks wonderful on the loco, and the goods wagons are a happy selection of localised, mostly, companies. Now, as has become the custom, let's ride with 751. "751 now arrives back at the depot light engine and backs onto her next train. And what a train it is! A rake of South Eastern and Chatham Railway liveried Hattons 4 and 6 wheel coaches. Just take in this lovely sight. Now as 751 gets underway, we are treated to the return of London South Western liveried Terrier 735, who also heads on to her next train. She now draws out a lovely custom-made London South Western 4.5 set, answering a request I had from another Mike recently. Having drawn her train out onto the main line, she runs around it to be ready to head off. Now both these classic trains pass each other. Have I not spoilt you enough with terriers? Well, there are many more to come in future episodes, but for now I'll just say, cheers for now.